Hello, hello, hello. This is Brady from Be All in Sports. We're back again. I just watched the weigh-ins. I've got some pictures that I'll show you of these weigh-ins, but I just wanted to come on here and kind of reiterate some of the bets that I have in for this weekend already, and kind of what I'm seeing. There are a few question marks this weekend, so I wanted to put it out there. I told you that I'm not going to be betting particularly heavy on this card just because some of these. I take it back. I may change my mind completely and bet heavy on this card. I really don't know. But as of right now, I'm staying very, very tame with it. I'm I'm just putting out the ones that I really think are, are surefire shots. Now he's going to have those ones that surprise you and can be shocking at times, but we're going to put our best foot forward again. Last week we had what I consider an anomaly because usually I'm not that bad, but I put so much on one player or one fighter that kind of just screwed up the rest of everything that I had going. If he would have won, everything is different. And if the judges hadn't had two very, very awkward decisions, we also would have hit some big bets. So it just one thing changes, two things change, and everything goes right. So I'm not changing the formula. I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to show you the weigh-in picks, and then I'm going to kind of go over what I saw. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any pictures of these weigh-ins, but I'll kind of go through and tell you what I saw. And then I do have some more bets that I'm going to be throwing out there. And at the end, I'm going to put in one of these parlays just because it's fun. So we're going to throw another one on there, but there's a couple things. I always like to put one in, save one for after the weigh-ins. That way, when I come back, I can have that full week of knowledge and put in what I hopefully will be the best bet. And usually DraftKings is after I put in this bet, they end up putting something up telling me that I've got a bonus if I put in a 4-leg parlay, which I probably have just done. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they do it this time. It's not up right now, so I'm gonna go on and hope that I'm not too early. If so, I may have to repeat this process again tomorrow. But to it, leave you a little pictures that I'm finding here. Let me put this up. And for some reason, my stream seems to be lagging, so bear with me. Gonna make this short and sweet tonight. So looking at these weigh-ins, obviously you want to get on the scale in the morning, so you kind of see how if that weight cut has deteriorated him a little bit and what you're seeing from there. Here we have Markel Maderos. He weighed in this morning, weighed in at, I believe, right at the 155 or 156 limit. He is going up against Austin Hubbard. There's Austin Hubbard at his weigh-ins. Only one fighter missed today, and that was it was Ronaldo Rodriguez. He missed by a pound, so I think it was the 125 limit. He didn't make the 126. I think he came in at 127. Here is Gabriel Miranda, and he is obviously taking on Jamal Emmers. Both of them are looking like they're coming in ready to fight, so this one should be a good one. Here we have Vince Pichel. Looks a little drained in the face, maybe. Not too bad though. Pretty good. Hoffa, I don't think he looks like he didn't have any trouble making weight. Obviously, these guys are ready to go. This should be one of those that might be a little bit underrated of a fight when we get to it. We'll see. Here is Julia Pilastri, and there is Lupi Godinez. Both fighters look like they're ready to go. Nothing that I'm seeing as far as this weight cut being too strenuous on either of them. So I am still going with Pilastri in that one. So we'll see how that one turns out. She's an underdog. And a lot of people are picking Lupi. So we'll see how Lupi's performance turns out this time. Here we have Malquizio Costa. He looks fine. When I noticed him on the weigh-ins, I'll go through this whole list here and kind of give you what I saw when I was going through this earlier. But there is something I noticed with a couple of them, and Malquizio Costa was one of them. Here is Christian Rodriguez. He looked good. He looked nice and calm at the weigh-ins. We'll discuss him in just a little bit more further detail. Here is Atiba Gautier. He looks ripped. He looks like he's in phenomenal shape. Maybe just a little bit sucked out in the face, but here's Jose Medina. I good. And right now, I think he looks ready to fight. There's something that I'm gonna mention when we go back through these, and I'll kind of tell you what I saw when I saw him in the weigh-ins. He looks like he's fired up, but he's always fired up. The thing is, he's not that great of a fighter. So we'll see how this goes for him this weekend. Maybe he's made some huge improvements, but he is facing what could be a monster test for him. There's CJ Vergara. He looks good, looks ready to go. And there is his opponent, Edgar Shirez. He also looks like he's not having too big of a problem with that weight cut. Kevin Borjas, looking good. Nothing wrong there. Rodriguez, again, he looks fine. I'm going to mention something about Rodriguez here in just a minute. This is the one that I was kind of questioning. Simon Oliveira, a little bit sunken in on those cheeks. I'm only seeing one side of this picture, but man, I mean, the guy's ripped. I'll give him that. He's definitely ripped. And when I saw him at the weigh-ins tonight, I don't know yet. I'm kind of skeptical on this one a little bit. Martinez looks good. He looks like he's ready to go. He does have a little bit of he's a little undersized compared to Oliveira when I looked at him in the face-offs, but with his fighting style, I'm not sure it's going to be relevant. Here's Vince Morales. Vince Morales looks good. Raul Rosas Jr. also looks good. Neither one of them looked like they had too bad of a weight cut. Joe Pyfer came in on weight. We're good there. He looks like he's in phenomenal shape. Kevin Gastelum, I don't know much. I don't know what to say. He looks like he's in decent shape. It's not the shape that I'm worried about. It's more the size. Like, you're fighting at 185 when I think that you could, I mean, you're that like middle class of weight that is, I think 185 is too much for you, and 170 you can't make it successfully. So the work ethic seems to hinder you. So we'll see how that one goes. But there's Austin Hubbard again. Talked about him. Shirez. We got Drew Dober right there. He looks like he's ready to go. He's ripped up. Manuel Torres, a little bit sunken in the face. At least from that picture, when I first saw the picture, I was kind of it doesn't really look like him for some reason. His face looks a little bit different, but he looks good to go. Steve Erceg, yep. And Brandon Moreno. Definitely all the fighters look like they are, for the most part, ready to go for this one. I don't see a bunch of stuff that looks too bad as far as the weigh-in goes. But there are a couple things that I noticed that I want to talk about as we now. If you don't like hearing me talk, because I'm just going to talk this one out, I'll put up the bets in just a couple minutes. I only have 3 going right now, but like I said, I'm going to work on another one here. Markel Medeiros. For some reason, when I noticed Austin Hubbard come up, I don't see the same fire that I sometimes see in him. So I'm kind of questioning, and he looks a little rough. He looks like he's kind of been through it. He doesn't look like he took that win pretty good shape. He looks like Markel Medeiros, and I've got a little thing that I'm going to put him in just because, like I said, a lot of this, when it comes down to the weigh-ins, I'm trying to do the best I can with reading their body language, what I'm seeing in their body language, how they're looking. If they, I don't know, sometimes it just seems like something's off, but they're really not. Everything is good to go, and I've misjudged them. I'm not going to say I'm perfect at this. I'm no psychiatrist, and I don't have body language reading skills like that, but I've watched enough of them to see that sometimes something looks a little off. And in a lot of cases, I may not pull the trigger on it, but it comes back to haunt me. So this time I'm going to pull the trigger on a couple of these that I think may. Right. So again, stream sucks. I don't know if this is a StreamYard thing, because I do use StreamYard, but man, this is really starting to drive me nuts. But we got Austin Hubbard taking on Markel Medeiros. There it is again. Markel Medeiros. I'm taking Markel Medeiros. Austin Hubbard, to me, just did not look. He didn't look good. I don't know. There's something off. Jamal Emmers, Gabriel Miranda. Both of them look like they're ready to go. this done. I don't think it's going to be a fight that's going to the ground. I think he's too good I think he'll keep it on the feet. So that's what I think is going to happen with that one. I'm still going Jamal Emmers heavily on that one. Maquizio Costa taking on Christian Rodriguez. I am picking Maquizio Costa to win this fight. I'm taking the underdog in this one, but I have to tell you, after watching the weigh-ins, it's almost like somebody trying to fight the way. Maquizio Costa, he did come out with the face paint, a little bit energetic, kind of bouncing around at the face-offs. He did say something to Christian Rodriguez, but Christian Rodriguez looks extremely calm. And that's the one thing. If Costa comes in and he is good to go, maybe it's just a little bit more recovery time that he needs. By all means, I hope that's the case, but it just looked a little bit off. I don't know what. Again, everybody's wearing mustaches in this one. So Vince Pichel, he looked fine. Rafa Garcia, he looked fine. I'm still taking Rafa Garcia in that one. Julia Pilastri and Lupita Godinez. Pilastri looks like she's ready to go. She's got a little bit of a size advantage, which Lupita Godinez being more of in the wrestling vein, when she wants to take it to the ground, I don't look for her to have much of an issue getting it to the ground. But in this particular fight, I don't know. I'm leaning towards Pilastri. I think she might be able to stuff some of the takedowns and find her way back to the feet if she does get taken down. But I think she's going to be a little bit more active on the feet. And if she can avoid the takedowns, like I said, this is anybody's ball game. And if it wasn't in Mexico, it would be more of a toss-up. Again, that's one you got to be careful with. I'm not putting any money on this one because if I did, it's going to be over 2.5 in that fight, because I do think it's going to go long. I think it goes the distance. Next, Gautier, and he kind of had that look on his face like, fired up, but Gautier didn't look like he was having any of it. Kind of stared him and had a normal face-off. But I like the energy that Medina's bringing. I like the fact that he looks like he's in better shape than when I first saw him on the Contender Series. He just keeps getting in better shape. And I think this is going to be a better fight than what people are putting it out there. I do not agree at all with the odds of a minus 550 for Gautier or minus 5 or 400s. I think it's way too much. But Medina could surprise people in this one. Hasn't shown that he can avoid getting clocked. And I think that he might get clocked in this one. So I'm not going to take this if I take the side of Atiba Gautier. I've had this on CJ Vergara. CJ Vergara looks like he is pumped up and ready to go. I will say that. Edgar Chairez, man, he had some of the coolest face paint I've ever seen come to the stage in the UFC. It was face painted in the Mexican tradition of just the skull, and he looks like he had some tattoo artists definitely help him out with that face paint. The one critique that I got to give you is when you were standing on the scale, you left your hood up, man, and nobody really saw when you came up to the face off, and it looked great. You should have done it earlier when we had that straight shot at you. But I'm still going Edgar Chairez. I think he's just the better fighter in this one. He does have a little bit of a size advantage, not so much in the thickness, but in the height. If you get it to the ground, that could be something that CJ Vergara tries to do is get it to the ground. So I think he's going to be in submission trouble possibly. So I'm going Raul Rosas Jr. taking on Vince Morales. I'm trying to speed through this because my stream is about to make me so mad I'm about to throw my computer off this thing. So Raul Rosas Jr. taking on Vince Morales. I can't go away from Raul Rosas Jr. I think he's going to be too good. I think he's going to be able to submit him. Honestly, I think he's going to submit him. But I think it's going to be a little bit closer at times. I don't think it's going to be one of those that he's going to walk through Morales. He's going to have to work to get the take. Obviously, he's going to have to work to get that finish too. But I think it does come probably late second is what I think if they're not too greased up. I think he's just a better fighter. I've never been impressed with Simon Oliveira, so I'm not going to change it now. And again, he looked kind of gaunt in the weigh-in, sucked out. So next up, Kelvin Gastelum taking on Joe Pyfer. These may not be in order with the way I'm talking about them, but I'm going Joe Pyfer. The odds have gotten way better. It started up in the 500s and it's gone down. So I'm definitely this is a definite parlay piece for me. I like what I'm seeing from Joe Pyfer. I think he's going to be the better fighter. I think he's going to be bigger. I think he's going to have size advantage. I think he can do in this fight. So I'm not going away from Pyfer. He's probably one of my strongest picks, has been from the beginning. Next up, Ronaldo Rodriguez taking on Kevin Borjas. Ronaldo Rodriguez in this one. Listen, he missed weight. That means he's getting up some of their money, and I think he's going to be out of his other fights just for the simple fact you're going to have to recoup some of that cash. So I think that's the way it's going. I'm going Ronaldo Rodriguez. Next up, Manuel Torres and Drew Dober. I'm sticking with Manuel Torres. I haven't been since this whole thing came about. So I think he's the one. Manuel Torres it is. He has now gone into the dog area. So maybe look at that plus 3.5, plus 5.5, something along those lines. Where I don't think it's going. I like that over 1.5, though. I think it can go a little bit longer than that one. These guys can both take a beating. But I look for Torres to. I'm taking Brandon Moreno to win this fight, but I will probably add this in a parlay fight that's going to go the distance. But I'm gonna look for like a safe place to land on this one. Maybe the over 2.5, I think, is somewhere that it lands. I don't think that Steve Erceg is an easy out. I don't think that Brandon Moreno has enough to take him out. Honestly, I think he's pretty determined to get this win. I may even lean more towards that Erceg plus 5.5, plus 7.5, something along there. I do have a bet in with Brandon Moreno that I'll show you in just a second. But I am going to stick with my pick, Brandon Moreno. But this one's honestly scaring me just a little bit. I'm going to put on a show. He had a really good fight against Pantoja. I know he lost, but Pantoja is a badass. And I think that he had a short notice on that one, didn't get a full camp. So I'm interested to see how he comes in this one because he may end up being the better fighter on a better trajectory than Brandon Moreno is. But again, that home field advantage, when you got the home field advantage, it's your hometown. The crowd's going to be with Moreno, and it's going to be tough to beat him on if it goes the distance. He's going to be very, very tough to beat. So let's get to these parlay. And let me get it. For some reason, it is not. There it is. There it is. StreamYard, you are letting me down bad tonight. That's cool, though. Like it. Oh, there it went. Man, sorry about the lag in content. Sorry about all of the crap that's happening with my stream. But here we are. 2 picks. This is put in way early. You're not getting these odds. So you may as well just forget about this one at this point. I think with these two now, you're getting minus. It's at that. I think Jamal Emmers has gone up all the way to like in the minus 400s. Shiras is in the -3, mid-3. So I did put this one in way early. I like this one still. Edgar Shiras minus 258 and Emmers minus 218 on DraftKings. Again, this is old. I got it at plus 102. But it was ahead. I like that one so much. And if it will get off of my screen right now, then I will show you the other bet. But just going so draggingly slow that the button, if I slam it, and now I'm frozen. There we go. All right. Let's see. Does this one want to go up now? All right. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you it's Jamal Emmers, a single bet. Jamal Emmers at minus 218 as well. We will go ahead and forget about that. And there it is. Wow. An hour later, it pops up. That's the streaming site that I'm using right now. So hopefully, maybe by miracle's chance, we get this fixed sometime because this is really pathetic. On DraftKings pull up, I will gladly show you what it is. Maquizio Costa at money line. We have Joe Pfeiffer money line and Brandon Moreno at a plus 5.5. I'm doing this one at plus 207 on DraftKings. This was put in more recently, so you're probably going to get close to this if you do put this one in right now. Now, I did tell you that I was going to put one in while we're here, so I'm going to go ahead and obviously get these banners to work because the streaming site is absolutely horrendous tonight. But I'm going to put this in. Austin Hubbard. Look, Austin Hubbard is a very tough fighter, so I can't reasonably tell you, sit here and positively this is not going to be a fight that goes the distance. So I obviously, you kind of got to play it with what you think in this one. I think Medeiros can win this fight, okay? But his money line is at minus 155. That's, if I felt more positive about it, I would definitely. I want to get like a 3-leg parlay on this if possible. So what I'm going to do is I do feel positive about Medeiros. I think that he is going to win this fight, and taking him at his minus 3.5 is just too risky. I think you're getting plus odds there. Taking him on that money line would I think be a great bet. I think that he does get it, but for parlay purposes, I think off the rip, I'm going to put it in as him at a plus 3.5, which means he already have him definitely too loaded up on him. So I'm going to go ahead and skip that one for now. Is going to be, and again, this is more going off of what I saw in the weigh-ins, and what I know kind of how this goes. We got Ronaldo Rodriguez. I told you that I do think he's going to be more motivated to get this done. Now, this can also, it can cause you to get a little bit too carried away sometimes and make bad decisions. He might be one of those type fighters that would get a little bit too carried away, thinking that he's killing the fight and slip up. So let's see if we put him in at a plus 3.5. Now look, when I'm doing this, I'm looking for something safe, something that I think is going to hit. So I don't necessarily have to have my plus 500. We're going to do that in a minute. This is the bet that I'm looking at that will get me up above that. Do you know what I mean? So we're just looking for something. If we can get plus 200s on it, I'd be happy with that. But like I said, I don't even care. I just want wins. Wins are what we do in in something, so I'm not going to put that. But I'll tell you what I do feel confident in is Joe Pfeiffer. The minus 285 for Joe Pfeiffer. I like the bet. I'm pretty confident that this will get done. Markel Medeiros at plus 3.5 at minus 390. Ronaldo Rodriguez plus 3.5 at minus 300. I don't think Borjas is going to get the. And then Pfeiffer, I'm going money line at minus 285. This brings us to a plus 126. So again, we are looking. The main thing that we're looking for here is to double up any money that we put in. We're getting a little bit more than double our money back on this one. So I like this bet. I'm going to go ahead and stick this in. Now, everybody loves the bet. All right. This is going to be one of those that we're looking for the finishers. Who are the finishers or the ones that we feel confident go to decision? Let's see. All right. The first one I think is pretty obvious. Raul Rosas Jr. To win by sub is plus, because if he's going to win, I think it's going to be by decision or submission. I don't think he's knocking him out. So I'm going to take that by submission. Going to get or I take it back. Let's go. Let's try something a little bit different. Let's just Moreno and Erceg to go a little bit longer. So let's see what we can get. The over 3.5 is at minus 330. I don't think that's long shotty enough. This is a long shot. This is long shot stuff. Let's go. All right. Well, let's put in Brandon Moreno to win by decision. We had picked him earlier, so let's do that. And then let's go Torres and Dober. But let's try. Bear with me while I look. I think I'm going to go Manuel Torres and Drew Dober over 1.5 rounds. All right. I think I'm going to stop there. I think that's not bad. Okay, we have Raul Rosas Jr. to win by sub, Brandon Moreno to win by decision, and Torres and Dober over 1.5 rounds. That comes to 1708. Let's see. A $5 bet returns 90. That's not a five. That's not a bad little $5 bet right there. You know, but you're getting risky, but hey, $5. Spend you spend all, and there you have it. That's how we put together a parlay. I don't know. We'll see if it gets good. We'll see if it gets just completely crushed. Either way, it's going to be fun. All right, people. That is my re-breakdown, my post-weigh-in breakdown of these fights. If you haven't already, please give me a like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about these, if you want me to keep doing them. If not, I will try and improve this streaming. I don't know why it's doing this to me. It continues to happen. So I did get my internet fixed, and here we are again. So I don't know what's going on. Try and get this fixed. If you stuck with me, I appreciate you. Hit the like and subscribe. I'll be back next week to give you more breakdowns and predictions. I think that gives you all the time in the world to look at them. I've already got some bets coming up. I've got bets that I want to put in for the next 3 cards, but obviously, I'm not trying to get too carried away, but I think there's some that I got to get in really quick. So I'm going to try and get some of these in really quick. If you haven't yet, follow me on Instagram. I do put my bets up there. Those including, I will start putting up NBA, MLB bets. I've been kind of testing the waters with MLB. I've been hitting my MLB bets for the most part. So I will start putting those up, but I like to focus on what I usually have the best return in, which is MMA. So until I can start getting something solid on the returns for NBA, I'm not going to put you through the misery of having to watch me lose. So it'll get better. I'll start getting some bets up there. I like playoff time when it comes to basketball. So I'm going to get more involved when it comes there. And leading right up to the playoffs, those or like a game pick with just a one piece of the parlay. So we'll see how it goes. I will say this, that Bulls game last night, Bulls and Lakers, oh my God. How do you lose? How you let another team score 9 points in 12 seconds Hey, my name is Brady. This is Be All In Sports. We'll be back with more breakdowns for next week. Other than that, have a great weekend. Enjoy the fights. If I'm around and I decide to do a fight companion, you'll see it. If not, you won't. But if not, we'll see you later. Peace out, people.